21 areas that you have mentioned are absolutely, wonderfully put together. This is absolutely critical for the country to really become Viksit Bharat. But also, I would like to add one more to it, which I've been saying in every single panel discussion on your channel, is that we are heading towards climate change. We need to have the next generation of technologies for food production. Food production has to move into factories, and that's a technology that India should be dominating. And this is the right time to do that. Having said that, let me just take one issue because 21 will take a lot of time to cover. If we just look at energy security, we need to be less dogmatic. Yes, we need to be a leader in renewable energy. But while we are doing that, we are still 70% dependent on coal for our security needs. And so immediately, we need to make sure that the entire supply chain of coal production to energy is secure. And which means that, energy requires ammonium nitrate to make the explosives for the coal which gets mined. However, we are not Atmanirbhar in ammonium nitrate. And so when COVID hit, we were panicking that we will not be able to produce energy because there was no ammonium nitrate available. And so therefore, taking steps such as increasing the basic customs duty on ammonium nitrate so that we can have domestic capacity in manufacturing ammonium nitrate, that leads to energy security. Same thing with solar. We need to start from the cells to the modules to the actual deployment. We are good in making the modules. We are good in making the deployment, but cells is something that we are still not doing. Also, given the fact that we are a tropical country, I keep calling it as a tropical advantage. We definitely should be the leader in generating solar energy, and then at least start exporting to some of our neighbors, and also be a transporter of energy. For example, taking energy from Bhutan and transporting it to Bangladesh is something that India should start developing. I would also like to add one more point on the defense exporter part of it. It's been a fantastic journey for the last 5 years that India did from becoming a huge importer of defense. We have started to turn the tables around and we have started exporting significantly. We do need to keep in mind that Israel's strategy is actually to fund their entire defense requirement through export of defense equipment, and that's a very very critical strategy because the minuscule economy of Israel does not really support the kind of defense that they have. Also, things like quantum computing, things like supercomputing architecture, they needs to be looked at as not just a physics or a computing or an industrial activity, but it's a very significant defense activity. The moment any country cracks quantum computing, we need to scramble to get our banking system together. We need to put up the cyber walls to make sure that we are not attacked by cracking all the algorithms of banking. And supercompute and AI will become much more powerful riding on top of quantum computing. So these needs to be looked at not just as an industrial activity, but also as a defense activity. I think everything else has been very, very well laid out. The issue of internationalization of RuPay payment and globalization of UPI also is closely linked to internationalization of rupee. So perhaps that's something else that we would like to focus on, which is internationalization of rupee along with the RuPay payment. In fact, my company was involved in integration of RuPay with the Singapore systems, and it is working extremely well, thankfully so. But once we have internationalization of rupee, automatically the RuPay systems, the globalization of UPI, and so on and so forth, will become far more easier to do. And last point, in terms of shipbuilding, because that's again been one of my favorite points. Besides everything else that you have mentioned, India used to be the largest builder of ships, not just the largest number of ships, but also the largest ships per se. We need to claim that title very, very quickly back. The British law stopped us from continuing to be in the shipbuilding industry. That needs to be reclaimed by us. And clearly, these 21 points and the 22nd that I mentioned will lead us to becoming a Viksit Bharat.